I'm back, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to reroute the suction line for the hydraulic pump on the Case 580 CK tractor. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description to the previous time that I mentioned this. I did an update on the tractor a few months back, and I talked about where the suction for the hydraulic pump comes out of the forward tanks on the 580. And what it does is basically it comes out right in front of the radiator. Okay, it would come straight across like this. So here's the piece that goes down to the pump, and it joins the two together. So it would come, like, say if that was the radiator here, these pipes come right out in front of the radiator. There's hardly even enough room to get a hose clamp on it. So what I was thinking of doing, and what I alluded to in that first video, was I was going to reroute it with some pipe fittings. So what I've done is I've set up some pipe fittings here, and I'm going to move this T out a little ways from the radiator. So I mean, the rad will still sit here, but then there'll be this much more room to work at it and access it. And there's lots of room in there to do this. So basically the T sits upright like this normally, and it goes down to the pump like that. And I think it's just a simple matter of, you know, it's going to bring it out about 4 inches. So I think there's room enough to tip this in such a way to get the hose to go from here down to the pump. So we're going to look at that in a little bit of greater detail in a second. I got a new piece of hose. Got some fittings here. You can notice here's a couple of stainless fittings. That's all they had for a street fitting. So I don't know what I paid for those. Too much probably, but that's all they had. So I've got that, and this is basically how it's going to look when we're done. And just let me take you over to the tractor and show you what it looks like over there. Okay, so normally the hydraulic pump sits in here. Okay, and it's driven off the front of the engine. Okay. And so here's these pipes. One goes into the tank here, the other goes into the tank there. And you know, on this 580, these side tanks are the hydraulic reservoir. These are the hydraulic reservoir on both sides. Some of them have only a reservoir on one side. So I think if you only have the loader feature and not the backhoe, one of the tanks is the hydraulic reservoir, the other is not. The other's just a frame. But if you have both the backhoe and the loader function like this one does, both tanks are hydraulic reservoir. Okay, so here's the nipple that comes out of it normally, and here's where this pipe would go on between it. See, it joins with just 2 short pieces of hose. So it goes like that, or I think it's actually like that. But anyway, one way or the other, it just sits in there like that. Nipple on that side too. I've got that one covered up. I had it locked to keep the water out of it. So basically, there's that one on that side and that side. And when this is hooked up, like I say, it's right almost touching the radiator. So what we're going to do is we're just going to reroute it out to about here. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to unscrew these nipples that are in the side tanks and put my new fittings in there, and we'll get this set up. Okay, there's one there, and this is 1-inch pipe. Okay, I'm gonna hang on to these. Now let's go over and get those fittings set up. Okay, so I've just got these threaded in loosely just to check before I go ahead and put the fittings together, but I think that's going to be about right. Okay, so I'm going to take them over to the vise. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to join this nipple, it's a 2-inch nipple, into this 90-degree fitting, okay, here at the vise, and then I'm going to screw it into the tractor, and then I'm going to put this street fitting into it once it's in place, because I can't assemble it like this over here at the vise because I can't swing this other fitting in it. All right, okay, you'll see that in a minute. But I'm going to put 2 of these together, one for each side, and I'll put those into the tractor, and then I can put the street fitting into it, and then we're ready for the hose eventually. You can use Teflon tape if you want. This is Teflon pipe sealant. That'll work as well. Okay, screw that in there. There. Okay, I'm going to take those 2 fittings over there and put them in the tractor. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, before I get that fitting turned all the way up here, is I'm going to screw in the other fitting, the street fitting, because once it's up here 90 degrees, I won't be able to turn the other one, but down here I can turn it. Now, see, we can swing this here. Once it's up here, we might not be able to swing it past these nuts sticking out there. Okay, I think. Bring that around. Like that. A little more. Right there. All right, that's good and tight. Gonna bring this fitting up. Okay. Up it comes. Up it comes. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now I just gotta do the same on the other side. And there it is. I got it here. This pipe is gonna have to be moved out of the way a little bit. That's not a big deal, it's just clamped over here. But yeah, that's the general idea right there. Now, see, I've got room for that pipe there. What I'm gonna do once I'm sure of myself here is I'm gonna have a nipple in each of these, and I'll saw this off a little bit so that I can put my hose on either both the nipple and the pipe.